Hi everybody, how are you all doing? I hope you're well this very cold time of year. Where we're at, it's actually pretty pleasant, so I don't want to rub that in. I know so many of you are struggling with terribly cold weather. I feel really bad for you. And I know what the cold is like in Wisconsin. As a little girl, I lived there, and I remember 40 below degree weather, but nothing like what you're dealing with right now. So please be careful out there. Here we're pretty nice, actually. It was pretty cold for here for a little while, but now it's kind of warm out. So I was outside yesterday, and I was working on one of my goals in the garden, and that is I want to be able to water a little more responsibly. Sorry. I will never learn how to talk. I just won't. It's the same in sign language and just speaking. I just can't. I don't talk well. So anyway, it's just part of my uniqueness is how I look at it. Anyhow, so my goal is to water less, even though I'm really careful already, but I want to conserve more. So I've started a thing where, where you can get these really amazing clay pots that you put in the ground and then you fill those pots and the water seeps out. I love those. And I would love to install those, but I can't afford to do that. So instead of, just waiting and waiting, I'm going to go ahead and do the cheap version, and that is I take soda bottles, empty ones, cut holes in them, and bury those. And yeah, they're not the ideal thing, but it's better than nothing at this point. So for now, that's what I'm doing, and I was out putting in a few around some of the trees, and then I'll keep doing that throughout the winter. The ground is nice and moist, so that's really good. So I know that the plants are getting enough water from without me watering them at this time of year, and they're all looking pretty good. I'm seeing buds on some of the trees, and I continue to talk to them, of course. It makes them feel good. And let's see, I moved a few things around in the back. I'm still not certain if I want them where they're at, but later this spring I'll give you a tour. The other thing I did was where I have my hammock, I it was just sitting on sandy dirt. So what I did is I took my stepping stones that were in my secret garden because they weren't working there, and I moved them to underneath that hammock. So I put a weed barrier down and then sand on top of that, and then the stepping stones on top of that. And I'm working on making a frame around it. I'm going to eventually put a pergola over that and try to grow some grapes there. So that would be really cool. But now that really nice hammock stand is up out of the dirt and it's in really great shape. The secret garden, I had all those little stepping stones out there, and I thought that would work well, and I just realized it wasn't working. It's a really small space, and then I had that really small section of the fake grass. And at first, it was really nice to look out and see something green. But what happens is my little old dog, Snickers, that's his little domain, is the secret courtyard, and then he hangs out in the master bedroom and area, and he's got all his pillows. He's really old, so he's comfortable there. But him using that little fake grass has made a challenge. I have to water that way too much to keep it clean. So I'm going to pull those out and put regular sod in there like I did in the backyard. It's just a really small section. Again, it won't use up very much water, but it will actually use less than the fake grass because I won't have to wash it. So that's what's going on in the gardens. As far as my studio and everything, you know how most people at the end of a year, in December, they're kind of deciding what are they going to do in the next year? How are they going to go forward in their business, personal life, garden, whatever it is. I'm not very good at that. I usually at the end of the year, I'm still just trying to catch up with everything else. And, it's just kind of natural to look forward to the next year to see, what kind of goals do I want to accomplish. But for me, I usually do that in January. I kind of take that whole month to kind of look at where I've come and where I want to go. And so I've done that this month. And last year was when I started doing all these videos. And they've been really challenging for me. I'm not comfortable being in front of a camera. I think a lot of people are like that. I've been that way since I was very young and, you know, in much better shape than I am now. Although I have to say I am in shape. I just have some layers, that's all. Work really hard. But for me, it's been a challenge, and it's also been good for me to be in front of the camera. I used to blog. I do love to write, but the problem is that I don't have the time right now. The kiddo has had so many appointments, and they continue to increase, and he has a narcolepsy condition, so he's unable to drive for himself. So I take him everywhere, which, you know, I really don't mind. He's my boyo. But what that means is that some areas have to be reduced in how much time I spend. So I find that the blogging takes a lot of time, editing and putting in pictures and everything. That I've had to cut back on that right now. And so moving forward, what I think I'm going to be doing is a vlog. Here I'll just talk to the camera, probably just once a month, and kind of talk about where we're at in the studio, what's going on outside, and then of course I'll still do, you know, little video tours of the gardens, and also videos of the paintings. So today I thought I would go over what I'm working on right now, and so the next month we can see where we're at. So right now, this is just one little painting I've been working on that has not been on a video. This one we need to get back to. This one is the one I've been working on while signing. But I am out of the green that I was using here, so I'm going to have to wait until I can pick some of that up. And then this is a commission piece. Oh dear. Here we go. A commission piece that I've been working on. It's getting close to being finished. And then we've got this piece that I just realized I just damaged it. Look at that. Well, I'm going to have to work on figuring that one out. But anyway, I've been working on this piece, and I'll finish that online. And because I just put a little hole in the canvas because I knocked over a board, that's what happens when you're not very organized. What I will do is I will put a tape on the back of this, and this will become a print instead of selling the original. So we'll put that on fine art when I'm done with that. And then this piece I've been working on video as well. Now, I did this part of the tree the other day, and I did a video, but I had to delete the video. It was too dark when I tried to do that video, so sadly you're gonna miss that little section, but I'll get back to doing more of the leaves, and we'll do, trees, the limbs, that's it. And we'll get back to working on that. And then later, I have a big project that I want to do for myself, actually, for our living room. I'm going to take 3 to 4 canvases that are 24 by 48, and I want to do something like this for on our wall. And I want to make it kind of real misty, and same with those colors. And that will be a big challenge because that's a lot of canvas. I've done it before. I did a commission piece before with 3 and 4 of those. But I had the wall space that I could stick them together and stick them up on the wall and then work as I went. And I don't really in here. So I'm going to see how that works. We'll find out if I can still do that. And then what else I've been working on is I took some time and I finally put together some plans for the different garden spaces. The front and the back, the secret courtyard, and the kiddos' garden. And then I made a really long list here, and it's about 100 steps. And I realized I'm not going to finish all that in 1 year, of course, but I like to have the goal of where I'm working. And when I first started working out back, I didn't really know what I wanted to accomplish, because it was really hard to see and envision, because it was just all so much dirt and so much gravel and weird fencing and stuff like that. So now that I've done the foundation of it, kind of pull it all away and kind of reshaped it, I have an idea of where I want to go. Same with the front. I had to kind of move the rocks and find the new shape. And so this year, I know I've talked about it a little bit, but I'm going to really work on finishing some projects that I've started. I'm going to work on more shade structure, and I'm going to be planting more flowers, and some vegetable and some fruit. But I'm not going to focus on a huge result this year, but get the next layer started so that next year I can really focus on food production, which I'm excited about. But you know, you kind of have to do this a step at a time, and I'll still have some food production. It's just not going to be as big as I'd like it to be. But one of the amazing things about gardening, or just adding a little bit to your property, there's a few things. One is doing the work myself, moving all the rocks and the dirt and everything. I did all that with just a bucket and a shovel. I didn't even use a wheelbarrow. I did all that work myself, and just seeing it evolve as you're working on it is really a very beneficial thing to do for yourself. My husband, he's the kind of guy who'd like to hire the big truck and just come in and do it all at once and be done. But I like to see it progress, and I find it to be very fulfilling kind of work. And it's really good for you when you have a lot of stress in your life, which I do. So it's a wonderful outlet, and it grows things for you at the same time. That's the one thing. And the next thing is, my goal when I started this was only just to help the bees. I figured I could at least help the bees. I don't know if I can do anything else, but I can at least put stuff in to help the bees because we really need them. So I thought that was my main goal. And so when I started, I didn't quite get to that right away because I had to move so much stuff. But then I remember when I first got the first little piece of sod in, I saw butterflies for the first time in my yard. There were butterflies. They came in to check everything out, and they didn't go away. They stayed. And I was just so thrilled to see that life come into my yard. And then I put in trees and the big sunflowers, which I will do again this year. And the birds came, the songbirds. I'd never had birds in the yard before. They've been in the other yards next to me, and I could hear them flitting around out there, but they never came into my yard, except for like around the edges and make Molly bark at them. But they came in my yard and hung out in the trees and in the sunflowers, and that added so much quality of life for us. And then I got the lavender in, and the bee balm and the lemon balm in, and that's when the bees came. So then I had bees coming in and out, and then hummingbirds came too. So it was really thrilling this year to see this environment start to grow and get filled with the critters that are of great benefit to us. And Molly, well, we had lizards, always had lizards. Molly loves chasing them. She has never caught one. I hope she never does. I don't think so. They're very quick, and I have built lots of hiding places for them. And all winter, she stands around looking in there, going, where'd the lizards go? And she does chase the bees, but she doesn't catch the bees either. So it's good for all of us. Good for Molly, keeps her entertained. Bees get their food, and my goal this year is to continue that and grow that more. So anyway, there's my vlog for February 2019, and I think that's about it. We'll just keep working on these different projects, and and we'll keep on going that way. And of course, I'll have lots of other videos, but I think just once a month we'll sit down and have a visit here in the studio. And oh, I wanted to show you this necklace. Isn't that really pretty? A friend, she's an artist. Where did her card go? Made that for me. You know what? My next vlog, I will get her card for you.